Okay, well, we have finished making my first personal junk journal of 2024. And I thought I would just do a little flip through now that it's all bound and glued together, so that if you didn't see all the other videos where I was putting it together, you can see it now. Yeah, so this is the cover fabric is this old shirt that I used to love so much. You can probably see why, because the print and the colors are just magic. And the cut is pretty cool too, but it's 100% polyester. And the truth is, even though I've kept it in my wardrobe for the last couple years, I just haven't worn it. And so finally this year I made myself move it out of the closet and into the craft room. And when I went to make this journal, I thought, what better fabric for my cover than that old blouse. I used some hot glue to touch up the binding here. I haven't used hot glue in such a long time, and I kind of hate it because it's kind of stringy, but the other glues just weren't doing it. And I'm sure I'll add a closure at some point. We're not there yet. This is just, look, it's a bound book, okay? What more do you want from me today? And then I made this applique out of this. I guess I had these like upholstery sample swatches, and cut that out and embroidered it on. I did originally plan to film a video of the whole embroidery process for Junk Journal January for the stitched prompt, but the truth is that I use my phone to film, and I also use my phone to entertain myself while I'm doing tedious things, and embroidery is a tedious thing. So I very quickly got bored of filming while embroidering, and this is all you get. While I was embroidering it, the bottom got kind of wonky, but I just decided to love it anyway. And then we've got some tiger's eye beads beaded on there with the gold embroidery thread, and then I've used blue embroidery thread for the water. This is, if you're not familiar with the imagery, this is the Ace of Cups for my word of the year 2024, which is overflow. This is a journal card that I made for Junk Journal January, and it's gonna go probably right in this, well, it doesn't exist yet, but I'm gonna make a pocket here. And then I forget what stone this is. I'm sure it's probably some sort of jasper, but I really couldn't tell you. And then, yeah, I did this embroidery over the last couple days. This is some velvet, velour, whatever, from a skirt that was a hand-me-down from a friend, and I loved the fabric, but it just did not fit me, so it's too big. So I went to the craft room, and now it's my spine. And then the inner spine is, this is all cardboard from a case of H-E-B lime sparkling water, which we go through a lot of here. And then I covered it with a photo from one of the Young Living farms from one of the old Young Living catalogs. And then the end papers here are either half of a gel print that I did a while back. And I think I had done like, probably, if I had to guess, I'd put like pink paint on one half of the plate. And then I used like a little hot glue stamp of a star that I had made to like pick up and then transfer over to the other half of the plate. And then I probably picked up the whole print with this creamy parchment color. And then I had some of this phthalocyanine green left over from before. So that is the inside cover. This is totally unembellished right now. This is like, I wanted to get this done because I've been wanting to do more Junk Journal January work, and I didn't have a journal to do it in. So now I have a journal to do it in. Okay, so we have an old Trader Joe's greeting card here, part of an old paper bag. Oh, we got a loose beady wing there. Some vellum, some William Morris wrapping paper that's been tea dyed, a page from an antique copy of the Audubon book, some hibiscus dyed staff paper, some pages from my last year's Magic of I journal or planner. These planners are really beautiful, and they're all like astrologically set up, so it's got like all the transits and everything. And they're just gorgeous. I definitely am using my 2024 one already a lot more than I used my 2023 one, and I was really good with my 2022 one, but you always end up with a couple weeks where you just didn't get to it. So some of the blank pages I took out and bound into here, and I just think they're really beautiful. They also have, you probably can't tell at all, but they have gold edges. So that did, I think it comes through a little bit in person. And then this is from a Thomas Kincaid art book that I thrifted and took apart. And this is some coffee dyed paper where I used stencils. I used a little moon mask and a little rose stencil to kind of do like a resist with the coffee. More of the Thomas Kincaid, Magic of Eye, staff paper, Audubon, William Morris, vellum, paper bag, Trader Joe's greeting card. That's the first signature. There's 3 signatures here. This is the second signature. We've got more Thomas Kincaid, more coffee dyed stenciled paper. This is from, oh God. If you subscribe to my channel, you probably know I just did a bunch of work on this fairy tale junk journal in this Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales book. And these are the pages that came out of this book. So when I made this journal, there were extra fairy tale pages, and I took, I think, 2 of them and trimmed them down to put in this journal. I did have to trim them down a little bit because this is a smaller journal. I think these, because I'm using a lot of 8.5 by 11 papers here like this, so the page size ends up being about 5.5 by 8.5. Obviously some of them are a little wider, and then the cover pieces I want to say are like 6.25 by 9.25 or something like that. And then I did not measure my spine, so I really couldn't tell you what I did there. This is coffee dyed paper using a vinyl lace placemat as a resist. More Audubon, more Magic of Eye, more vellum, some hibiscus dyed fairy coloring pages, some pages from my mother's old teapot calendar. This one's from 2005. She just sent me 20 years of her old teapot calendars. I was like, do you have any of those old teapot calendars laying around that you're not using anymore? And she was like, I never throw them away. And then 2 weeks later, 20 years of teapot calendars shows up on my doorstep, and I'm like, thank you so much. I'm very excited about it. And I didn't want to lose this cute little dot trim. I could have just left the page wider, but that didn't occur to me. Like, that didn't process as an option when I was doing this, so I just folded it over to make a little pocket or tuck spot or something. Got the rest of the passion tea hibiscus. I used to work at Starbucks, so I would sometimes bring home passion tea concentrate at the end of the day, mark it out, and use that to dye stuff. So this is passion tea dyed fairy coloring page, vellum, Magic of Eye, Audubon, lace. This just, I just love this together. From the fairy tale book, more of that coffee dyed paper, more of that Thomas Kincaid. And then here we are at the third signature. This was a botanical dye, kind of like boiled book style, but I didn't actually boil it. I just let it all sit in a casserole dish for a long time. But I used some very strong constant comment tea and a bunch of the wildflowers and plants that were just growing around Cottonwood Cottage where I was living at the time. And I have no idea what this plant is, but man, it dyed beautifully. And I don't think it comes across on camera at all. I've tried before, but it left like a little bit of like crystalline deposit on the paper. So it's like in person, it's just the tiniest bit like sparkly, almost like if you did like salt with watercolor and you left it, and how you get that sparkle, but it's like a much finer crystal. It's really beautiful. And then this was like the centers of something, like the stamens or what, I don't even remember what it was, but it was the little bits in the middle of the flower with the pollen, really left some strong dot marks here. And then there's the other side of that. This is just a printed page. I have like a pack of these that they're printed double-sided to look like old paper. But hey, you know, I kind of like them. This is a Kanuga Y craft greeting card that someone gave me a set of these years ago, and of course I was never able to use them. So I couldn't bear to part with them. I think I parted with some of them over the years, but I of course had to keep one of each design. I was so mad that my favorite design, I actually don't appear to have any left of to have put in this journal. But I do have one framed to go on my gallery walls. I was gonna say on my wall. I don't have anything on my wall because we just moved here. So instead I just have boxes and boxes and boxes of framed art and nothing on the wall. But we're just not at the art on the wall point yet. We gotta get the boxes of other stuff put where it goes before we can figure that out. But anyhow, I still like this one. So we've got this one in here. This was from that same batch, but this, I know what this is. These are dewberry leaves. We had dewberry vine growing all over that place. And yeah, it died really, really well. So there's that. And then some more of the top side, I think, of those same leaves from before. You can see the dewberry coming through. And then this is just my favorite. It's just like parchment printer paper, but I really, really love it. It's my favorite thing to typewrite on in my typewriter. I guess you just say type on, I don't know. More coffee dyed stencil paper, more pre-printed paper. One more Trader Joe's greeting card. These are always 99 cents at Trader Joe's, and they always have the cutest designs, so if I see one I like, I get like 6 of them. And then this was cut out from a book called Classic Russian Idylls. And I guess this was the frontispiece in the book. And now it's the centerfold of my 3rd signature in my journal. So that I think is beautiful. Green card. And I'll just flip through. You already know what these all are, so I will just flip through to the end here. And that is that. And these were all just sewn in with the 3-hole pamphlet stitch with waxed bookbinding thread, waxed linen probably, I don't know. And then I used a combination of PVA and art glitter glue to glue everything together. And then where I was impatient or that failed, I turned to the trusty old hot glue. And yeah, that's what we got. Ooh, I don't know, this is another plant here that I don't know like what that plant was, but I love how it died. It didn't come out super like bold, but it really offered a nice green, brought a nice green to the party. And then these droplets I really liked were just where I dried my papers in the dehydrator. And if like the paper on top was particularly wet, it would drip down on the one below while it was drying, and then those drips would leave these little marks. So really love that. And yeah, there we go. My little Ace of Cups Overflow journal. And this one I'm feeling very good about because as you can see, it closes all the way. Like the cover tips come all the way together right now. And that will not happen when I am done with this, but I'm hoping that keeping it to only 3 signatures of 9 sheets each, and giving myself plenty of room, I'm hoping that it'll stay pretty, you know, we won't have too terrible of a gator mouth problem by the time I'm done with this. So that's that, and now I'm ready to start junk journaling in it, which is what I'm gonna do now in a different video, and I'm so excited about it. So I will see you later. Love you, bye.